Hi, my name is Brianna DeBell, and today I'm going to be presenting a persuasive speech on drunk driving penalties in the state of Nevada. This is my audience. Okay, I'm going to start. In 2019, one person was killed in a drunk driving accident every 52 minutes in the United States, according to the Nevada State of Transportation.com. DUI data from the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Program and the U.S. Census Bureau credit Nevada as the #1 state for the most DUIs. Some things that we can do in order to prevent DUIs and harsher penalties is holding our peers accountable for drunk driving. A lot of the time, most people are too scared to tell people what is right instead of just speaking up. So when out at social gatherings, people tend to drive and forget about the safest option to get home. They end up drinking too much and driving home regardless. People don't realize that going out and drinking comes with a large responsibility. According to ADRA and ALTI law, the first DUI offense includes only 2 days or 6 to 6 months in jail to 48 to 96 hours of community service. The option of being able to subdue jail time for community service needs to be eliminated in order to provide harsher penalties for DUI crimes. According to Doyle Law Group, Nevada has a zero tolerance policy for alcohol consumption while driving for anyone under the age of 21. In my opinion, that should be implemented for all ages, as it's unacceptable to induce any type of alcohol and then getting in the car to drive. The state of Nevada does not consider a DUI a felony until the third offense. This needs to be reevaluated, as this is just waiting for an even larger outcome to happen, such as the death of another person due to the drunk driver, or the death of the drunk driver as well. I've seen a lot of cases of this happen in my own neighborhood in Las Vegas, and I'm sure it happens throughout the state of Nevada, where even kids are in the car, or like little children are killed because of drunk drivers. And then the drunk driver remains alive. And I think that those people need justice, and being able to subdue jail time for community service in those situations, etc., is just unacceptable. Another thing that I want to mention, according to thehouselawcom, is that the state of Nevada waits until after your third offense to give you the maximum sentence of 25 years in prison after you have killed someone while drunk driving. Otherwise, you get the minimum sentence. So basically, if it's your first or second offense, they don't consider it a felony until you kill someone on your third offense. So your third offense is really, they wait until the third offense until they give you the maximum sentence, which I think that's giving someone way too many chances for that. So by following these simple measures, or trying to get them on another level, like heightened to another level, make these laws harsher, it'll help reduce deaths resulting from drunk drivers. A lot of citizens that I speak to, I work at a hospital, they come in from these accidents, and they fear driving after dark or on holidays due to the amount of drunk driving, just because, like I said earlier, Nevada was granted the #1 state for drunk driving accidents. So people like that, they'll be a little bit more settled if we hold each other accountable. Another thing I want to mention is the cost of insurance within the state of Nevada could possibly go down. Insurance companies, they do a yearly survey to determine driver risks. So the more DUIs that happen within the state, the higher the insurance goes up. I actually just spoke to my insurance agent, and she told me that my insurance went up this month because the survey was conducted, and yeah, I guess that just speaks for itself. There were definitely more DUIs within the past 3 years, and that's my source for that is Geico. So for the drunk drivers, the fear of being caught will be heightened, therefore more likely to be discouraged to do so, meaning to drunk drive. I think we give these people a little bit too much leeway. They get way too many chances, and the more chances you give someone, the more they're gonna have the ability to really mess up big time. So I just think people should think about how much the citizens' fear of being the victim of a drunk driver will be lowered if the drivers are held more accountable. So for the actual victims of drunk driving, they do deserve justice, I believe. Therefore, making the laws and consequences a lot more intense will bring peace to that subject. For example, you know, when there's a drunk driver and they end up killing a whole family in a car, and they end up living and they get like the minimum sentence because they haven't gotten to that third offense yet, I think that's unacceptable, and something needs to be done about that, because how would you feel if your family member was killed by a drunk driver, that person lived and got off with the minimum sentence? If the penalties and consequences for drunk driving were heightened, people would be less influenced to drink. So, for example, if you're at a bar and you drive there and you end up drinking too much, it really makes you second guess yourself whether or not to get in that car, turn it on, and start driving, because there is gonna be more consequences for it. As of right now, people are like, oh, I have 3 times until I can get a DUI until it turns into a felony. If we heighten those laws, people's mindset will be way different, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree. According to shouselawcom, a lot of the time DUIs can actually be reduced to reckless driving. That can be anything. That can be swerving, anything along the lines of that. I think drunk driving isn't a class of itself, and there should be no reason for it to be reduced to anything. So if we got rid of that option, I think there would be a longer lasting effect on the person convicted. So choosing to opt for buying an Uber or calling a friend to pick you up after drinking will reduce the risk of crashing, dying, or killing someone else. I do believe that reporting drunk driving is also a problem too. A lot of people don't take the time and effort into reporting people that they see swerving, or people that they see at the bar that are drinking too much and they get into the car and start driving. So you can call law enforcement and let them know, give them the license plate, and they'll find them. And that's according to Doyle Law Group Las Vegas. So I also think that you have to hold yourself accountable and the people around you. Like I said earlier, that'll definitely make the biggest social impact as far as reducing the amount of drunk driving. I've done it myself with my friends and even myself. So in conclusion, taking harsher action on people who receive DUIs or don't due to the flexibility of laws is a serious subject. I think the laws in the state of Nevada need to be heightened, and I hope you will take action in preventing and educating others on the risks of drunk driving. Okay, now I'm gonna pull up a video.
Holding me hostage.
2 days in custody and up to 6 months in custody, and also a fine and additional consequences. For a second and third time DUI within a 7-year period, the penalties go up. For a penalty is for DUIs in the state of Nevada. A first-time DUI is a misdemeanor subject to 2 days in custody and up to 6 months in custody, and also a fine and additional consequences. For a second and third time DUI within a 7-year period, the penalties go up. For a second time DUI, the minimum sentence is 10 days in custody. And for a third time DUI within a 7-year period, the penalty goes up to a felony with a mandatory 1 year in jail.
Okay. You can end it. I don't even know